Hi, I'm Russ Winninger. I'm a lawyer at the Winninger John Law Firm. Today I want to talk about what a will is not. Now, wills are incredibly important documents. That being said, there are many things that a will is not. For example, a will is not a piece of poetry or a personal manifesto. A will is a document for specifying how your assets will be distributed after you've died. In some cases, it also specifies guardians for minor children. As well, it might specify things like funeral wishes. What it's not meant to do is to be a fine work of literature or a philosophical treatise on the good life. Literature and philosophy are wonderful things, and I strongly encourage you to pursue those endeavors, but not when I'm doing your will. Also, a will is not an opportunity to build family connections. If your family isn't terribly close, a will isn't going to magically bring everyone together. Sometimes people leave vacation cottages to their children in the hopes that the children will have family get-togethers there and spend all of their vacation time there. If your family's into that sort of thing, then great. However, if your kids have their own lives and rarely see their siblings, don't try to force awkward connections through a will. As well, a will is not a way to control from beyond the grave. Some people want to exercise control over family members through a will. Maybe an adult child isn't particularly mature and the parent wants to make sure that the kid finishes a university degree and then gets a white-collar job. While a trust for disabled adult children or for adult children who are still in their early 20s, that may be in order. Telling a child, an adult child, that they have to do particular things with their life or they won't get your money is almost always not the way to go. As well, a will is not for pots and pans. Usually a will refers to property in general terms. In some cases, specific items of property might be mentioned, especially if they have significant monetary value. However, simple household items don't have to be individually doled out in a will. Also, a will is not for punishing your spouse and kids. Sometimes people make revisions to their wills in order to express dissatisfaction with certain family members. If you've broken up with a spouse or common law partner, then of course it may be reasonable to disinherit that person. That's very common. Likewise, if you're entirely estranged from an adult child, then, by all means, it probably makes sense to take that child out of your will. However, if you're revising your will whenever you perceive a slight from someone in your family, then something's wrong. Yes, you can legally do that, but in the end, you'll only alienate your loved ones. As well, a will is not a tool to lord it over your spouse and kids. This is the subject of many movies and TV shows. A wealthy person uses their will to exert control over their relatives while they're still alive. At least in the movies and TV shows, that type of person usually ends up being murdered. Also, a will is not a way of ensuring a grand send-off. It makes perfect sense to list reasonable funeral wishes in your will. It makes absolutely no sense to deplete your estate so that your funeral will be more lavish than that of Queen Elizabeth. As well, a will is not for micromanaging. Maybe you've noticed the basic theme in this post. I'm trying to encourage people doing wills not to be control freaks. You can't anticipate every possible scenario. for every possible need of your potentially orphaned minor children. If you put too many constraints on your executor or your beneficiaries, you may end up creating unnecessary problems for them down the road. There are some exceptions, but flexibility is generally preferable to rigidity when it comes to doing a will. Finally, a will is not a magic bullet. A will may adequately deal with a number of legal and estate planning issues, but it doesn't solve every possible problem you may have. More comprehensive estate planning and tax planning may be required. If you're a business owner, business succession planning may also be necessary. If you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them in the comment section. Thank you for watching.